Alrighty, good evening and welcome back to the channel. For those that are new, hello, hello. For those that are returning, hello, hello. We've got something special on tonight, something a bit different. We're going to do a video on, now this is very debatable, contradictive, whatever you want to call it, but that's what we're all about. It's going to be on why school is a lie and why it sets our kids up for failure. Tips, Bolo Viking, how you going, mate?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm here. I'm going
Sorry,
well.
I'm a little bit preoccupied at the moment. I'm good now, but no, I'm good. Had a good day. Had the shed slab was poured today, so got a nice big
Concrete.
11 by 7 meter cement slab poured today in the backyard, getting ready for a shed. So, mate, I'm super happy.
This is good, mate. That shed looks pretty much like your head. Oh, sorry, the concrete looks just like your head.
Well, it's flat, yeah. So
Nice. We're not
no,
talking
it's
about your
good.
genitals. Now, yeah, so the video tonight, very contradictive. Obviously, you've got kids that are at school. I've been
Yep.
through school. You've been through school. I've got kids that start school next year. And in my eyes, it's all bullshit. And we're going to break it down as to why, as I said at the start, why school is a lie and why it sets our kids up for failure. You want to start or do you want me to start?
No, you start, mate. I'll just follow
All
and
right.
my
So,
2 cents in where I need to.
so my theory is, and the way I believe this and why it is. So we're taught to go to school, 12, 13 years, some bit more if they've got to repeat. Whoop you do, it happens. Shit. So shit, who cares? Yeah, so we do school for 12, 13 years. We're taught to, study. After we finish year 12, get a job or get a trade, shit wages. Then you get your trade or go to uni, rack up a hex debt of whatever, 40, 60, 80, 100 grand. There's another, depending what course you do, 4 years, 6 years, 8 years study. And then you get your job. Then you can get your house, your white picket fence, your family, pay that off for 30 years, you're mortgage free, and then you die, essentially. What do
Yeah.
you got left to leave your kids? Now, let's talk about those smart people that invest, that
So
look for other opportunities that school doesn't teach you, aka the stock market, shares, real estate.
yeah. So all school is it's a way for it's a form of what's the word I'm thinking of? It's a form of
Institution?
institutionalization. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Um, they're trying to just create, like I said to you yesterday, create thousands and thousands of little worker ants. So all the rich people can stay rich, and we just go out and do all the hard labor and do all the little petty things. And that's the way the world cycle revolves, yeah?
Yep.
So that's why school doesn't teach you all these important life lessons on um, investments and all the really, really basic stuff that we know now. School doesn't teach you that stuff.
So I couldn't agree more with your tips. I wish I knew this years ago. Like I looked at my grandfather, Italian, whatnot, had over 20 properties under his belt. And when I was growing up, I didn't understand or realise what was going on there, until I got older and realised, hang on, this is how you do it. This is how you start with one, equity, second house, third, blah, blah, blah. Mate, I read a couple of books. Now, I know people don't like reading, and I know these books I'm about to show, people are going to have a negative complaint, this and that. But usually the people that complain are either one, lazy, two, don't want to read, or three, don't want to change their life. So I don't
You'll
care.
be surprised. One of the books you're about to show, you'll be surprised on how many people have actually read it. So
First,
no,
first
Catherine's
one,
actually read it. That was
Barefoot Investor.
that's the one I'm talking about. You'll be surprised on how many people have actually read that one. It's not a bad read.
It is a good read, and it's just little simple things in your mind, changing little habits
Yep.
that may
Yep.
not seem much at the start, but it's compounding.
Yep.
The time, more time you have, the bigger your little whatever you want to call it's going to get. Another one that
Yep.
I really enjoyed was this one. Now a lot of people hate this book, and I don't care. I love it. It's great. It's good for a laugh. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's a bloke who talks about having two dads. One's obviously rich, one's poor. and the different responses to things and how they got rich. Obviously, he got rich in the stock market, buy when the markets crashed. Obviously, you've got to be in that situation to do that,
Yeah.
which a lot of people aren't when a market crashes. But if you're one of those ones that have saved a lot of money, don't go and get a car loan. Don't go and blow your money on dumb shit holidays. Invest. Anyway, those two books. Very good read.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And a lot of people look at books and think of them as being a daunting thing. Like, you don't have to sit there and fucking read 8 hours of a, 8 hours a day. Just, a couple
One
pages a night,
one chapter. One chapter a day.
one chapter a night, and just work your way through it. It's not that hard, I guess.
Yeah, but
So
going back to the school thing. So obviously, I did school. I did kindergarten through to year 12, and then got a job. And it wasn't obviously what was 18 when I finished school, and it wasn't until what I'm 35 now. I think 2-3 years ago. Well, no, last year I guess you could say is when I got myself sort of financially good,
yeah,
if that makes sense. And it was a shame that there was such a big gap in between that, like that lack of knowledge, what school doesn't teach you. Like the school teachers. I remember my maths teacher said to me, "Goes, oh, you're going to use algebra, you're going to use Pythagoras' theorem, you're going to use trigonometry when you finish school." Guess what? I haven't used that shit once.
no, and 90% of the jobs out there in the world, you don't use it. There are jobs obviously that do require stuff like that. But
But then they're
for
niche jobs, selected jobs.
correct. Um, one thing I want to bring up that I hate, it's not about the education, it's the way that they've structured classrooms now. So when I went to school, right, I was born in 1980. So when I went to school, everyone born in 1980 was in the same grade.
Yeah.
So now, for some reason, they've moved the cutoff to June, July. Yeah.
Hmm.
So if you're born in July all the way up to the following June, you're now in the same grade. So you've
Yeah,
got kids
it's
from two different years, and they say it's because of age difference and it bridges the gap or some bullshit. But there's still a 12-month gap between July and June than there is from January to December. I don't understand. So now you've got kids two different ages. You've got kids finishing school when they're 17 because they're born in the first half of the year. Then kids born in the second half of the year finishing school when they're 18. I don't understand why they had to change it.
I don't know, mate. As I said,
It's
it's school being
does my head in. Like,
um
I'm a December baby. I finished school, still just turned 17, and I was finished school, done all my school, and just like anyone else does. I don't understand why they did it.
don't know. There'd be a logical reason behind it in their
Frustrating.
eyes.
Because yeah, Lily's born in the first half of the year, and Sky and Braden are born in the second half of the year, so they'll finish a year later.
There you go. They'll be the oldest. It's not a bad thing. But going back to your kids, right? One's nearly finished school, right? Let's talk
Yep.
about what this video is about.
Yep.
The school being shit. Now, does your eldest know about like shares and how to accumulate property once you finish and the stock market and that sort of stuff?
We haven't talked to her about that sort of stuff. No.
No,
Uh,
not
we
not you. You shouldn't be doing that.
no. Well, they they she was doing a business class, I believe.
Mhm.
Business, I think it
So
was.
business studies is they had that at my
Which,
school. That's about starting operating your own business, which is great.
mm, but
You
it's
know,
not the life stuff that your kids need to know. Like,
yeah,
no, in regards to shares and stock markets and stuff like that, no, I don't believe they do teach that. Um, we're more trying to teach our kids how to budget, meal prep, meal plan. Um, and a big thing for us was we were a single income family for 10, 15 years, and just know where every cent goes. Know where every single cent that you own goes so that you can spend your money wisely or save your money
that's
wisely.
that's right, and that comes down to exactly what you said, budgeting.
But
There's a
school doesn't teach
lot.
you that.
School doesn't teach you that, mate. And
Like
look,
there's nowhere in the curriculum that I'm aware of that teaches a kid how to budget a wage.
not at all. Not at all.
So
How many people do we know got kids that have just started working or working and whatnot, and all they do is they go get paid, then you see them at Rebel Sport or bloody petrol station or clothes shops just wasting money.
I think it comes with age because, mate, I used to be the worst with money. I was so bad, but I wasn't really educated. I guess mum and dad tried to. I don't really remember. I'm hoping mum and dad tried to direct me down the right path, but just being young and dumb and impressionable, and obviously I had a good job. I was lucky enough to sort of fall into it, so I had money to spend.
Yeah.
But I think it comes with age and just maturity. Like
But do you
we were
think do you
both,
think the kids these days would have a better understanding and can get that time back if they're taught these things whilst they're at school? Like, is it so? Should school study so much on history? Stuff that's happened in the past. Should school study on all this maths crap that only a select few people do? Should school study on you got like your advanced Englishes and all that? For those
Mm,
select people that become English teachers or work in where they've got to know their English real well. Like, I just think whoever whatever makes the curriculum, whatever you call it, I can't even say the
yeah,
word. I think there needs to be a readjustment of that.
100%, hundred
And
percent.
and just because let's be honest, you look at the price of housings now, right? Our kids, when they get old enough to get into that market, it's going to be over $1 million.
It's gonna
Like
be crazy.
it's going to be crazy. So we're lucky now that we've planted our roots to start and hopefully get our kids set up. But the kids now that are coming through, Paul, if they've got no hope, mate.
And you know what? I think the generation doesn't help as well. Obviously,
Generation Z or whatever they call it.
yeah, I think obviously I'm a Gen. What am I? Gen X? No, Gen Y. No, I don't know. I'm the one after baby boomers, whatever that is. Gen X. I don't know. Anyway, harder to find kids now that are actually committed to education and committed to learning and caring about their future and taking those steps to have a successful life, because I've found that kids these days just don't have the drive and the motivation like kids did back in our day. Like kids actually sort of worked hard and had a good work ethic and cared a little bit more than what they do these days, which is obviously a little bit sad. But there's a saying like tough times make tough people, and tough people make for easier times, and easier times make soft people. So I think we're going through a transition in the generation in the world where we've just gone through a really tough generation who's made things easier for this generation, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's going to go full circle because you look at the way the world's going now with all this fucking
You be careful
shim
what you
thing.
say here.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. All these people now that identify as fucking whiteboards and chuck and whatever, you can identify as whatever the fuck you want. So this society now is going to create a really weak world, and this weak world is now going to create fucking hard times. And there's going to be in the next 50 to 100 years, there's going to be some fucking hard times coming in the world because this generation is going to force the world into that sort of life. Then
Yep.
it'll get tough again, and I'll get tough again. Then the tough people will create easy times again.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's going to go full circle.
I don't see it happening in my lifetime. I see it just getting worse.
It'll get worse. It'll get worse, but
I'll give you an idea. I'll
eventually
tell,
someone's going to have to get tough again.
mate. When I go walking every day along the beach there, and I always walk, upright, chest out, just you walk, you show that
Proud.
you're confident, you're proud, smile, whatever. People walk past, they walk like this, man, look down, or you say good morning, hello to someone, and they just turn to the side. It's like, well, what the hell's wrong with you? Like when I
Mm.
was growing up, you got taught you say hello, you say good morning, You shake someone's hand, like, and this goes back to school. Like everything leads back to school being shit. Like I just don't think it's
There's no respect.
no,
There's
not at
no
all, mate.
respect in this generation, mate. Like, there's issues at school now with the girls are. They got to lock all the toilets between lessons because people just go in and flood the toilets with toilet paper. So all the it just renders all the toilets useless. Flood the toilet. Then if kids need to actually go to the toilet, they can't because there's no toilets open.
You know what I say? Bring the cane back.
There's just no respect.
Bring the cane back. That'll instill respect.
Mhm.
I guarantee you, if you had a good flogging on your hands or the back of your bum, after the second time, I'm pretty sure you won't do it again.
I got 3 on the front and the back when I was in year 7.
There you go.
So did it help? I don't know, maybe, but I got it.
But, yeah,
I
look,
didn't do that again, but
it is what it
so
is. It's a very, very touchy subject, the old school, mate. But yeah, look,
it. Yeah, look, I don't know. Like, I've I've said to Sky, and I've had this conversation with Catherine that I even said to Kat a couple months ago. I said, "Is there any real point in her being at school?" Excuse me, because um, yeah, she knows what she wants to do next year, right? And her being at school, nothing's going to affect what she's going to do next year. So,
yeah,
and she hasn't had the best year. She's trying her guts out. Don't get me wrong, but she hasn't had the best year. She's been away a lot. She's been sick a lot. Um, and to be honest, the teachers will say one thing to the parents. One thing we've noticed here as well, the teachers will say one thing to the parents. I'll say, "Yeah, we'll do this, and we'll keep an eye out." Then 2 days later, the girls Sky will go ask for help, and she'll just get palmed off, mate.
yeah, and
Like
that's
Lily's a fucking everything's distinction, high distinction, right? She went up to the sick bay the other day, because she wasn't feeling the best, and even the nurse up there is just rude. They question everything. They think they're malingering. Like,
you're right.
the teachers don't care. They're only there for a paycheck. There's
Yeah,
no love in it anymore. They don't do it because they love it. They do it probably because they have to, and so they can get paid. There's a
I
very few select teachers that actually give a fuck.
think it's the
So
same in any profession, mate. A lot of people
I
don't love their job.
actually went to a parent teacher interview today.
Yeah,
For Aiden, the young fella, out at Pucker, and that's probably one school that the teachers do care. They actually give a shit about the kids out there, which is great to see. But Pucker's always been a school that's always had a very, very good reputation. Um, but as for the bigger schools like the public schools and stuff like that, it's hit and miss.
yeah,
But going back to the generation again, the kids are only going to get out of it is what they put into it, just like anything.
yeah. Same
So
as anyone. Yeah,
if you've got a good kid who's committed to making a difference, then they will.
yeah. Support them. Like I think you need to support your kids with what they do. Like you don't obviously neglect them. You don't chuck them fucking iPads and this and that. You got to spend the time. You put the time and effort to have the kids. Guess what? You've now got a life commitment till they move out of home.
That's it, mate.
And if
That's
I
it.
think if parents spend a bit more time with their kids and actually like the way obviously you or me were probably raised up, I think it'd be a better place. They'd be more switched on. You know what I mean? Because everything
Yeah.
once you have kids, your life changes. It's supposed to change. It's all about them.
Yep.
And you got to set. I believe you got to set them up for success
Yeah.
at an early age.
We were lucky in that sense as well because
We were, yeah,
cat didn't work. Um, and Cat, as you know, she's bloody awesome with that sort of stuff. So I was lucky that each of the kids had Cat to teach them read and write and
yeah.
numbers. how do you, even something simple as using a pair of scissors um, before they go to kindy. We came down here to Pucker, and when the girls went to 3-year-old or 4-year-old kinder, one of the first things they said to us was, "You guys are from Darwin, aren't you?" And we said, "Yeah," because in Darwin, one of the main skills is teaching a kid how to use a pair of scissors, where they don't do that down here.
Ah, yes, and this is in
Just
Darwin because
simple
this
life skills.
this sets them up for when they hit the streets, my friend.
Ah, mate. From those who know Darwin, go to Baggett Road.
Yeah, Dad. No. Um.
So yeah, it's just I don't know.
Oh,
Feels a mystery. It frustrates the shit. I mean, I've had over the last 2 or 3 years, I've had a number of times I've gone down to school and chest poked a few teachers because of situations. So
yeah. When my kids go to school, look out, look out.
mm,
But
look
no,
out,
look.
teachers.
I think we'll wrap it up there. Obviously, it's a very passionate subject, but
Have we
just to
really talked about much about what we were supposed to, or we just
uh,
yeah,
look at the end of the day, this is the moral of the story, and this is the lesson you can take out of it, or you can take nothing out of it. Um, Obviously, school doesn't teach the kids to be successful. It comes down to the parents. So you got to put the time and effort in,
yeah,
teach them, show them the way. If they want to do something, you're the saying the entrepreneur. Be your own boss.
yep,
Don't work for someone, make them rich. If you've got a goal or a dream or a career in mind, you chase that and you be your own boss. If that means living at home for a couple of extra years, pucker up, buttercup, you do it. Because as
yep.
soon as you move out of home like I did, and then you got bills and food and this and that, very hard to get started.
Um, I think the big thing is don't rely on the school. Uh, Use a bit of foresight and teach your kids simple things like budgeting, knowing where your money goes.
Yep.
When they want to do their shopping, meal plan. Plan your weekly shop before you go out.
When they're working, if they're at home and they're working, half their pay, instead of putting into a savings account where you get 0.1% on your return, put half
Yep,
of it into an EFT or a industry fund or the stock market, because you get
yep,
anywhere from 6 to 8 to 10% return on that.
yep.
And you just keep feeding that. So imagine, like all of us, if we put half our pay when we first started working at fast food and just kept at that, imagine what the nest egg would be sitting on.
Yeah.
This is
You
how
wouldn't
these
have,
bastards get rich.
you wouldn't have to wait to 40 to own your first house like I had to.
That's right. If anyone puts in the comments says crypto, I'm going to turn that comment sideways and shove it up your twacker. But that only works if you're lucky in the right spot, right time.
Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there who have lost millions on crypto.
Oh, mate, I know heap people that have lost hundreds of thousands on that crap. I know there's
So
people are going to say, yeah, but I made this. Yeah, you got lucky.
yeah,
You got real lucky.
there's better ways to do it.
Absolutely. Real estate. We're doing a video on real estate eventually. We're going to do a
Mm.
very quick video on cryptocurrency, very in depth in my theory and how to do it.
In depth quickly.
Yeah,
Mm.
but no,
You
that's
end up looking like Bulbasaur behind you there.
Oh yeah, so this old little how do I point? This one.
Yeah.
But yeah, mate, we might leave it at that. We obviously got a little not heated there, but we got
Little
very strong opinions in
sidetrack.
it. But at the end of the
It,
day, school is shit. School sets you up for fail unless the parents do something for the kids.
I don't think they purposely set you up for failure. I think school has a specific, is it specific? A specific role, and it's to create a bunch of little worker ants to go out in the world and just be hard workers. If you don't want to be a hard worker and you want to make a difference and make your life better, then just use these simple things that you've mainly you have suggested. Um, yeah, just don't be a worker ant. Strive for something better.
That's right. That's simple. Mate, we'll do a video on side hustles, mate. How quick and easy it is to do up a logo, post it up on Facebook, start earning some cash.
And you know what? It might not work. We've put things up that haven't fired yet, but we're putting ourselves out there, and that's all you have to do.
Well, that's it, mate. That's you got to start somewhere. Hey, it's working up here.
Yeah.
It's a good.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, all right. Well, look, thanks for listening. If you found that interesting or whatnot, or just like having a yarn, listening to idiots have a yarn, thank you. Please consider hitting that old like, subscribe, and it goes a long way. Tips, thanks for that. I'll speak to you.
You're welcome. I'm sure I'll speak to you about 6 times tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we've probably got you for another half an hour after we hit off this anyway.
Yep,
See you, bye.
we'll do that. Bye bye.